So wanted to just give people a little overview of something you don't generally get to see during Maple Weekend because our trees aren't right next to our sugar shanty. And so show you a little bit of the woods and how we actually collect the sap. So what you're seeing right here are some tubing lines that run through the woods. These four actually run about 1,000 feet that way, and then they split. The bottom two continue to run another 1,000 feet to what we call our back releaser that sits in a hollow by a little creek back there. And then the upper two carry sap. The blue line carries sap, and then the black line carries air from about 1,350 taps that are in the back of the woods. And there's an additional 750 you can see beyond that, and you see another smaller blue and black line that come from those woods on this side hill right here nearby. They enter this, this is actually an old chopper wagon that we repurposed because it had a nice roof on it and sort of a pre-made building. They enter this and they come in here to our pump house. They come into the manifold, which is this blue thing right here. And then from there, they flow down these two lines into this guy, and this is called our releaser. The way the releaser works is there's just a well pump in there, and when the sap fills up to a certain level, the well pump turns on, pumps the sap out through the lines, which go up overhead here and into our tank. And you can see our tank's just about half full right now. This whole system is gas powered. So there's our gas tank. It holds about 15 gallons. That'll run just about at a gallon an hour. And so that's enough gas for about 16 hours. Over here, and you can see our Indiana vacuum pump. This one is 35 CFM. So that means it moves 35 cubic feet of air per minute. And then a generator. We are about a mile from the nearest power lines here. So everything here has to run off grid. This generator actually runs both releasers. You can see there's a switch there that lets us control which releasers are on and off. And then a wire that runs about 2,000 feet to the back releaser. Up here in this corner, you can see the heart of our monitoring system for this woods. There's a little Verizon cell, like a jetpack, a wireless hotspot, and a tablet that takes all the information from the various sensors and sends it up to the cloud, so I can see anywhere in the world really what my vacuum system is doing. There's also a line that brings the sap from the back releaser. That well pump in the back releaser has enough power to pump the sap about half a mile up here, and that's why there's two lines going into the top of the tank. Out here on the tank, you can see that we've got our vacuum sensor, or our tank level sensor tells us about how much sap is in this tank, so we know when it's getting full and needs to be checked. And because of the number of taps here, this 2,000 gallon tank doesn't have quite enough room on a really good sap day. And so it's set up so that when it's full, it runs over into the tank next to it, which is a 550 gallon tank. And I know it looks like it's a little dirty on the outside of these tanks. We don't worry as much about the outside of the tanks as we do the inside. And so keep the inside nice and clean. And if we end up with a little bit of mud, especially on a rainy day, sometimes the mud will splatter off the ground, and we want to worry about the inside of the tanks. So once we gather the sap here, we just hook onto these two big fittings on the bottom and take it back with us to the shanty and start the process of turning it into maple syrup. So that's kind of a glimpse into how the sap gets from the tree back to the shanty.